The General Family Laws Amendment Bill 2025. Yeah, South Africa has new divorce laws, and you're not gonna believe the reasoning being used here. But let me go through the laws first. Let me go through the notes with you, and I will say my piece. Things have gotten complicated for men in this system of marriage. And from what I can see, the way they are addressing it, it's short-sighted and has cruel tendencies knitted into the design of its implementation. I don't know how else to put it for you. But let me go through it and let's unpack it and dissect it afterwards. The Justice Minister, Mamuluku Kubai, is the one introducing these laws and implementing them. She claims that they address certain issues around marriages out of community of property without accrual. She says that in these marriages, each person's property stays separate, even if one helped the other build wealth. That's a very blanket statement on its own that we need to unpack there. But there's more to it. She says that spouses who are often women found themselves without any financial support when marriages ended. These types of marriages, community of property without accrual. These spouses found themselves with no financial support after these marriages ended. And these laws aim to address these people, these spouses, these affected persons. Now, the reforms aim to ensure that spouses who contributed to the marriage can get a fair share of the property, even if the marriage didn't include accrual. Sounds good and mean and what all good meaning on the surface, but again, this is another blanket statement being made, which the implementation is gonna affect men negatively. But we're gonna go into it. Let me finish. The Constitutional Court declared that current laws are unfair to spouses who are married out of community of property without accrual. These laws aim to allow courts to order fair asset transfers for spouses who are married out of community of property without accrual. Wording, the way they use wording here, it's very misleading. Another thing, it's misleading because we understand, but it's being blanketed so that it's being seen as it applies to everyone. This does not apply to everyone, and I want to unpack this. Let me unpack it. Now, the thing is, the way this law has been presented, the way the Justice Minister presented this case, it's as if there is no means for married couples to share in each other's wealth, which is it's a complete lie. It's being misunderstood, it's being narrated the wrong way. If you are married to someone and you want to share in the wealth or assets of whatever you have, you are able to go by law and get their name put into the same registry of the ownership of that whatever it is, whether it's a service, a good, a business, whatever it is. That person, you as the stakeholder, the sole stakeholder, you can share anything with your partner when you're in a marriage. Even shares that you bought from a business, you could put it in your either it would be your will, or it would be what would be a discussion that you and her have where some where you broker something, a deal that works out for both of you. But the way this law is going about it, it's as if this cannot be done, which is lies. It's not true. There's more to the story. Now, when people are married out of trust and love, when people are married out of trust and love, it's natural that anything they acquire together after the marriage, they share equally with no malice, with no hate. But if a marriage is built on anything outside of those things, then you risk it collapsing if those things are not there anymore. One of these things is finances. If you are going to marry someone because of the financial stability they have, their money, you are not basing a lifelong decision on a practical on a practical point, on a practical fact. And when the realities of that come to fruition, you'll find that you don't love this person, you're only there for money. The thing is, this law is not being honest as to why men and women engage with each other to begin with. It's underplaying the man's role in initiating and starting the whole process of marriage and going through with it. It is only it is only isolating itself on the woman's role. And it's doing this under the basis, under the assumption that the man is well off handling himself financially. He can afford himself. My thing is though, none of this is it's not based on facts. It's not based on facts, and it's attacking men. If you are married to someone, right? And I'm speaking from the perspective of a man here. If you are married to someone and maybe in the beginning or midway through they decide they want to be a stay-at-home parent, right? Because that's the wording they're using in this law, even though me and you both know I mean stay-at-home mom, but a stay-at-home parent, then that person should take the responsibility of that decision. And if me as your partner support you in making that decision, then I will, of course, support you financially. Of course, I'll support you financially. But should me and you divorce, you have no rights to claim that you cannot support yourself because you left your job and it's now my responsibility to take care of you. It doesn't make sense. We are divorced. You have to go learn how to take care of yourself because you and me are no longer together. You are no longer my responsibility. Go and be your own responsibility. But now this is taking a person's responsibility away from themselves and letting the financial aspect of it, the financial responsibility aspect of it, to be taken on by the man, even after divorce. It is not fair to the men. It is nonsense. Another thing this law is being ambiguous about, um, from my perspective anyway, is the wording of wealth and assets. Because assets means house, car, and wealth means business and investments. And anything else outside of that should not be considered wealth or assets and should be considered normal human things, just normal things. They shouldn't be tied to anything. But now, the way this law is phrasing it, it's that even if you guys have one home, even if you guys have one car, it's not a matter of sell the car and split the fees, or sell the house and split the profit, but rather it's a matter of after divorce, even after selling the house and selling the car, if the partner who who was a stay-at-home parent contributing in other ways finds themselves unable to support themselves financially, then they can go to the ex, the divorced partner, and demand financial support. And the court will support them and they will receive it. Yeah, yeah. There is a positive to what's happening. There is a positive. Muslim laws, Muslim marriages, I mean, Muslim marriages are now recognized under these new laws. And Muslim marriages weren't previously recognized. So now Muslim families, Muslim women, Muslim disadvantaged partners can use the law to take action, legally take action against their spouse after divorce for financial support. That's what this law says. The United States of America has similar laws of divorce to this new divorce law. And the men that side are seeing flames. They've been seeing flames for decades. Okay, 70% of women initiate divorces and all of them file for some type of spousal support, child maintenance. It's crazy. It's they going through it. They have dubbed new phrases like passport bros to go find women they can marry in other countries because of what's happening with the laws, marriage laws in America. Those same marriage laws, the nature of those laws have been taken and are being implemented, reconstructed here in South Africa. I don't see it looking good for men. I don't see it looking good for men because now the person you've married and supported because you love them and don't want to see them suffer, once they've decided to divorce you, they can then take you to court to get you to pay for their life, for their living expenses. And they will use whatever justification, whatever nonsensical justification. But yeah, they're gonna win. This is not good for men. This is not good at all. The thing to consider here is the rules of dating for men and women. They're not the same. From the first date to that proposal before the marriage, usually men are spending money from that first day until that proposal day or that marriage day. And the law, which is convenient, chooses not to recognize this process from initiation to endpoint, marriage. It doesn't recognize this. Instead, they don't care how this marriage came to be. What they care about is what happens after the marriage ends. And my thing is, the government should not be that involved in anybody's life, no matter what the case. They should not be involved because they are doing a terrible job already when it comes to how they're handling custody battles with children. With both parents are arguing where the women get favorability and men get a shit experience. So with that, now there's an extension to this. Now the men now have to also pay for after effects of marriage, divorce. I don't I don't see the plus side for us as men. I really don't see the plus side. And for those who are wondering what numbers am I pulling these from? In South Africa, the average meal at at what would be a good place to take someone out can cost you 200 bucks, 200 rands, 150 to 200 rands for one person. You haven't counted transport, and it's not a taxi. This is private Uber, Bolt. This is private transportation. So we're talking another what, 150, 200, and then there's desserts and what we'd call miscellaneous spending. A little spending there, buying a sweet, a little spending there, buying a cap or something, but miscellaneous spending, which can easily go to 300. So already we're close to 1,000, and we haven't reached marriage yet. You're probably still in your first year of dating, maybe your first 2 months, and you've over exceeded 1,000 rand. And then here comes the after effects. She leaves you, you're divorced, and now she can take you to court because she's struggling, and life with you was nice. And she can't live that same life. So she wants to take you to court to pay for her to be able to live that life. There's no logic there. This rule by design is not for men. I don't see it being for men. I see this being something that deters men from getting married. That's what I see this as. Look, fellas, if I were to give my advice, I'd say as things stand, governments and women have destroyed the concept and idea of marriage. And in terms of who's gonna suffer, we are gonna suffer, both men and women. But in terms of who can take care of themselves long term, men have a higher probability, a better chance of taking care of themselves long term alone compared to women taking care of themselves long term alone. That's why there's a lot of aids, government aids, organizations that provide support for women, because there's this acknowledgement, undercover acknowledgement of women needing more than men. And this trickles over into everything, including business and work. But yeah, I think fellas should just my advice, I think guys should just stop getting married for now. I think they should not get married. Um I think if you can stay dating until the day you die, that's safer for you, the man. That's what I can say. I get prenups exist, and it's a tough situation whenever you've just proposed and preparing for the marriage to bring the conversation of prenups up with your partner. But I want you to know, even if she has signed it, even if you have signed it, she can still argue that prenup away with the right lawyer in court. So, systemically, by law, men aren't protected in marriages. Whatever rules and laws made, whatever the wording used, whether it's spouses, partners, most of the time, if it's something beneficial and positive, they are referring to women. If it's something negative, they are referring to men. The wording can change, but that's how you should see it as. Yeah. Anyway, that's me. That's what I got to talk about right now. These new divorce laws. Yeah. I know now that it is literally in a woman's best interest to get married and secure marriage. That's what I can say. From this law, that's the only thing I can say. Between both men and women, I can say for certainty now, it is in women's best interests to get married and have a man support them financially. I feel sorry for the men, including myself. But we'll find ways. We'll find ways to maneuver. But looking at things now, I don't see marriage being something on the cards for me anytime soon, no matter what I'm going through. That lady is going to have to relax and understand that me getting married is the same as me signing away a lot of my rights. I can't do it. So, yeah, that's all I've got. This is me. I'm gonna take an L now. It's AP. Check you on the next video. I'm out. Cheers.